as we know them at this time. Obviously, uh, 20 hours later, we've got more information on the actual facts of the incident and then kind of update you on the status of our investigation, where we're at on that. So last night at about 8:05 p.m., our 911 center received a call of someone that had driven through the administrative check-in gate at Oconee Nuclear Station. Understand, for those of you that are not familiar with Oconee Nuclear Station, this administrative check-in point is probably 400 or 500 yards, but it's a good distance away from the actual secure area of the facility. This is mainly where someone checks in when they're going to the plant itself. The deputy arrived and talked with the security officer. He learned that about 7 p.m., about an hour earlier, a sedan came up to the gate and was told that they could not enter, and they turned around and left. So, about 8:05, this vehicle came back and drove to the exit side of the check-in point. And there's an arm there as well. The security officer goes out to let the individual know that they can't enter the facility, and the individual doesn't speed off, but just slowly drives on through the exit side of the check-in point. There's an arm there, so he knocked that arm off, and the security measures, and I'm not going to get into those for security purposes, but the security measures in place at the plant itself prevented this individual from basically going any further, gaining any access to the plant itself. So the vehicle, proceeded to a kind of a support area outside the secure zone. Security officer follows them down there, and individual, basically he was going to again confront him, see what's going on, and individual drives through the fence of that support area, which is, like I say again, outside the plant itself. And security officer then gets in, follows the vehicle. It proceeds to leave the plant, go down toward Pickens County on Highway 183 and on to Jones Mill Road, which is actually in Pickens County. Individual pulls into a residence over there. The security officer hears some gunshots at that point, and security officer leaves and goes back to the plant. So that's kind of what we knew last night. Obviously, 3:35 today. That's kind of the facts as we know them, as I've just stated. The shots themselves, no shots were fired by Duke security officers. No shots were fired by law enforcement, who obviously was not on scene, and no shots were fired by the suspect. The property owner, where this individual pulled into, this is a very rural area, and he fired some warning shots because he didn't want nobody coming up to his house late at night, after dark. So, and he said the vehicle, after he fired the warning shots, the vehicle left. So obviously, our investigators, our deputies, have been working since then. We've had some assistance from the FBI. We've had some assistance from SLED as well on this investigation. And, as far as where we're at right now, 15 minutes ago, the vehicle that we were looking for was located in Pickens County, in the 6-mile area of Pickens County. So Pickens County Sheriff's Office is responded to that scene. We'll be processing that vehicle as well as our investigators are en route there as we speak. So we'll be searching this area. I can tell you that the suspect was not inside the vehicle. So they will, I'm sure, will be canvassing the area and working with Pickens County on that. As a result of our investigation, we have identified a person of interest at this point that we're looking for in reference to this incident at Duke Power. It is 66-year-old Doyle Wayne Wisenhunt out of Locksburg, Arkansas. Mr. Wisenhunt is 5'7", weighs 185 pounds, has green eyes and gray hair. He is currently wanted in the state of Arkansas on drugs and weapons charges. He's been entered for national extradition from the jurisdiction that's wanting him in the state of Arkansas. We would ask if anyone sees Mr. Wisenhunt to not approach him, to call law enforcement immediately and let us deal with that. You know, he is a person of interest in this particular case here at Duke Power. And our investigation is continuing. And when we get to the point that we need to get to announce any potential criminal charges, and obviously we'll report that out at such time. So I'll take some questions, but I do have a picture of Mr. Wisenhunt. And each of you will be given a copy of this.
Sheriff, do you have any indication why an individual would penetrate the property of the nuclear plant, whether that person may have worked there someday or worked for Duke or was a contract worker at some time?
Dick, the investigation is continuing, so it's, you know, with it being ongoing, we don't want to speculate as to any reasons why he may have shown up at this facility. Obviously, that will be a part of our investigation, but at this point, it would be speculation on our part. I will say this. At this point in our investigation, we don't have any evidence that this is any type of domestic terroristic event. So, you know, as to why he chose to drive to Oconee Nuclear Station, obviously we'll be continuing with that. And at such time that we're able to determine that, then we will report it out.
Sheriff Crenshaw, was there any indication that the man was under the influence?
Possibly so. That there was some indication from the Duke security folks that there appeared to be something not quite right, you know, with this individual. Whether it was under the influence of alcohol or drugs, obviously we don't know at this point. But that was reported to us.
Any indication of he living in the area?
We have no indications at this time that Mr. Wisenhunt resides in anywhere other than Arkansas. It's my understanding that these charges, these drug and weapon charges, went public in the state of Arkansas on October 31st. So obviously, whether he's fleeing from law enforcement in Arkansas, you know, like I said, we'll continue to investigate that. But at this point, it would be mere speculation. Yes, ma'am.
It's released where the car was found.
Yes, we can get that information. I don't have the exact, like I say, 5 minutes before I walked in here, the investigator told me that we've got the car in the 6 Mile area. I don't have that physical address, but we can certainly get that information to you.
Was there anything left in the car, like guns, drugs, anything like that?
Again, we don't know. They're en route there, Pickens County. I don't even know if they're on the scene yet. But I know I've got one of our folks there. Pickens County was en route. We'll certainly ask Pickens County Sheriff's Office to process the vehicle for us for items of evidentiary value, and then you know, we'll report that information once that's completed as well.
Sheriff Crenshaw, are you at all worried that this person of interest could be violent if someone did come across them?
Well, obviously at this point, you know, we don't know why he went to the nuclear facility on 2 occasions after the first time he was told he couldn't enter. So he went back and proceeded to drive on into the facility on the exit side. So yeah, I mean, that's why I think there's potential danger there, you know, with him. We don't know the status of him at this point. So, law enforcement should not approach him. Some other further investigation lets us know that he was driving after he left the facility without his lights on. So, we were able to determine that as a part of our investigation. So, what's going on with him at this point, I don't know. But, from our standpoint, we need to get him identified. One, he's going to have to be extradited back to the state of Arkansas. But two, we'll continue to investigate. And we just need to confirm that he is the person that was in fact driving that automobile when it went to Duke Power.
Does he own that automobile?
Automobile is not registered to him, no.
Do we know if it was stolen?
Vehicle was not stolen.
What's the history of incidents like this at Oconee Nuclear?
Caitlin, we don't really have a history. We've been very fortunate here in Oconee County that we haven't had any issues other than maybe some suspicious vehicles outside the plant. We've never had an issue at Duke Power in my 37 years as far as inside with an intruder. I as sheriff feel very confident in the security that Duke Power has in place and the officers that they have in place there. They've got more deputies, or they've got more security officers than I've got deputies probably, working there. So I feel very confident in their ability and their security that they have in place there. But we haven't had an issue really with incidents at the Oconee plant.
Sheriff, wasn't there an incident just after 9/11 of someone standing outside the gates taking photographs which caused worry?
There was. I do recall that. There was not any issue to that. Obviously, someone taking photos of Oconee Nuclear Station is not against the law, and but yeah, that we did have that incident outside the plant itself. Go on.
Yeah, any indication of when he left Arkansas and/or how long he's been in South Carolina or Oconee County?
I'm not going to release that at this time or discuss it. That's part of our ongoing investigation. Obviously we'll be following up on that. Trying to put together a timeline of when exactly he left the state of Arkansas and when he came to Oconee County.
And as a follow-up, if you determine that he was involved, was the one driving the car, does he still get sent back to Arkansas and come back later?
Most likely what will happen, Norm, is that if we move forward with identifying him, then he will face charges here, and then once he's bonded out, if he makes bond, then be transported back to the state of Arkansas. That would be between South Carolina and Arkansas. It could happen the other way. He could go earlier, but most likely he would face charges here. Potential charges that we would be looking at would be trespassing, would be malicious injury to property, and possibly attempted murder. As far as his actions toward one of the security officers, which I'm not going to discuss the facts of that, but again, we will release that at the appropriate time. But those are the potential charges that I see were violated during this incident.
Does Mr. Wisenhunt have any relatives in the region?
Don't want to comment on that at this time either. Obviously, that's part of an ongoing investigation. So, until we are able to confirm, or even if we are, I don't think it's fair to them to say that they're a relative of Mr. Wisenhunt. But again, that's something that's part of our investigation. Obviously, we're exploring that.
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead. The NRC does security assessments every 3 years. Do you know when the last one was done at the power plant?
I don't have the date, but I do know that you're right. They do the assessments. We do the drills. We have a nuclear drill where they come and grade it and judge it as well. So but I don't know the exact date when it was.
Sure, we're gonna have your officers on the
heightened alert now that this has happened?
You know, we don't have any evidence at this point to indicate that Oconee Nuclear Station is at any risk or in any danger, nor any other nuclear plant. You know, I've gotten calls today from really across the country, but we have no evidence that there's any threat toward any of our nuclear power plants. And like I say, you know, we at this point we think this is an isolated incident. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Okay, well, thank you all. And like I said, if you want a picture, Mr. Wisenhunt, we've got those that Jimmy can hand out.
And also, I've got a news release I'm going to be printing out to give you before you leave. Stick around for that. And obviously, in our immediate contact list, many of you or your organizations are there. So this picture, along with that release, will be going out as well via email. So anything else?
Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate y'all coming.
Okay.
I'll get you in a minute.
Okay.
Just a quick question, do you have the electronic version of this?
Yeah.
Email?
Yeah, that's, I'm going to attach that to the email.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir, you are welcome.
We're about to go right outside.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem at all. Whatever you need to do, we can do. Okay. Here you go, sir. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'll be attaching that along with the news release. We've written out the news release as well. So.